Brawley?
Well, I agree with you. I definitely do. I have a couple questions. One of them has to do with a statement that was made regarding finding out where these students are that are missing, and connecting that with funding possibly being withheld from those districts. And I really can't understand how we benefit from that. It seems to me that it's harsh and that it almost punishes a lot of those students in the district who have absolutely nothing to do with whether or not a district can find the students who are missing. Because when you withhold funding, it impacts the overall operation of the district and the ability of that district to meet the overall needs of all of its students. So my hope is that that is never our option, particularly during a pandemic. But I am told that the Department of Ed is requiring or insinuating that if school districts aren't doing in-person learning by September 14th, I don't know why September 14th, I don't know what will happen to the virus on September 14th, but if they're not, then there is a possibility that their funding is going to be withheld. Now, is that just a rumor?
That is a rumor. I have never said to a single superintendent. I have heard it rumored by some
I had to
General
ask
Assembly
because
members have
it is a
told me
concern.
that it has been mentioned to me by some members of the General Assembly. It has been mentioned in Washington, D.C., that there may be funding withheld if school districts don't get back face-to-face. But no, I would not be a proponent. And I have not said that.
Well,
I did say, I have said to districts, and you're right, the September 14th day is kind of an arbitrary date. But we had districts giving their plans, and it was unclear when they were going to start virtual, and it was unclear when they would ever evaluate that. And so that's why I asked them to, at least by September 14th, to look at their plan again and to try and offer some type of face-to-face at that point. But as I had those conversations with them, I also said, but I realize how fluid this is, and we'll work with you. So there's no threat of funding being withheld, and if that's coming from the Department of Education.
that is a relief to hear because, again, September 14th, let's hope that by August 14th that we are in a better position. But the reality, we are 6 months into this process, and the numbers are doing nothing but going up.
Right.
And so it just would seem odd that we would pick a date. I can see an assessment date to say, look at what's happening on the ground in your area and making a determination as to whether or not we need to reevaluate as a district, I guess with the school board making the recommendation to the Department of Ed. But these people are elected to do this at the school board level. And when we heard, I'm an old school board member, so I'm very, very much so sensitive to the difficulties that they are already facing, having to meet the requirements of every parent, if you can imagine. And then on top of that, knowing that, something as critically important as funding could be in jeopardy really concerned me. So I'm happy to hear that that is a bad rumor.
That did not come from the Department of Education. I have said to some superintendents, as I've discussed with them, that I shared with them that some members of the General Assembly have questioned us about the difference in cost between virtual and face-to-face, and that it's being discussed in Washington, D.C. publicly. I mean, anybody, you can watch the news just like I hear it through the news as well, but that has nothing has been determined, nor have I said to a district, your funds are going to get cut by us if you do that.